All right, ladies and gentlemen, good, what is it? Wednesday. Good Wednesday morning. Welcome to day 3 of our free full throttle training. Pretty happy we started doing our Tredge yesterday. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good, what the hell's going on here? Wednesday. One second here. Welcome to day 3 of our free full throttle training. I'm like in simulcasting here. Let me close that. There we go. Let's hear myself talk on YouTube, man. I definitely don't want to hear myself talk. Welcome aboard. I'm glad we started the Tredge yesterday morning because you're already making what's that as of right now? You're up $1,000 in a day on the S&P 500 trade that I covered yesterday. A Tredge, right? A trade that acts like a hedge in the S&P 500, falling like a turd off a tall moose. You're welcome. So you made $1,000 in a day, which pays for an annual membership into your solo Amazon service. Okay. We're going to finish the rest of that Tredge. Wish we had time to do the bottom of it yesterday. You'd be making even more money. But that's why you're going to join this morning. So yesterday we knocked out our hedge or Tredge training. I'm going to finish that. And then we're going to talk about psychedelics, baby. Investing to save and change lives. Then we're done with full throttle. We have 9. We have 9 memberships, full throttle memberships left. Don't be try and be number 10. You won't get one. So we have 9 left, and then we're closing the doors. Solo Amazon tomorrow is our gateway service to join. $97 a month or $970 for a year. You get a couple months included if you do the annual, but it's not part of full throttle. If you already got your full throttle membership, you need Solo Amazon as well, or you don't. It's up to you, but you're going to miss out on all of our Amazon trading. Look at the S&P, man. I love it. It's almost like I do this for a living. Replay page. Does everybody have the replay page? If not, I'll go give it to you right here, right there. It's pretty easy. Oops, sorry. It's pretty easy to remember. Go.topgunoptions.com FT-replay. Let me move this up a little bit. Everybody having fun? I love this. I love showing people how to make money as markets go down. Right? I didn't mean to offend people earlier in the week, or maybe I did. You're not a genius if you make money when the market's going straight up. Anybody can do that. My kids can do that. My kids are also geniuses because they know how to make money as markets go down. Okay, so let me clean up some stuff real quick. Mission objective. I'm clearly nailing it. I've been giving you up-to-date intelligence briefs about everything that's going on, literally around the globe and in the US. You know how to trade options. So if you don't know how to trade options a little bit by tomorrow, that ain't me, that's you. And we are turning panic into profit. I don't even know what's going on, right? The president, we're excluding some chips and whatever makers. Market rallies yesterday. NVIDIA is not excluded and market implodes. I don't care. I love that it moves up and down on all over the place. So we are turning panic into profit. Not going to kick a dead horse, beat a dead horse, whatever it's called. You already know why you're here right now, and I'm doing another full throttle. We're turning panic into profit. I already went over all the retail investor trade points. Real quick, some people, let me give you a little brief of what everything looks like. You're obviously on the training side of the fence. This week, you can get access to solo and full throttle, and then obviously the execution side of the fence. If you're ready to get airborne, join the Hunters, man, one of our investment clubs. Max Afterburner, we can talk about down the road. It's a lifetime membership here at Top Gun Options. On the training side of the fence, you get 7 options weapon school sessions. If you've been seeing me, I did an iron butterfly yesterday. If I have time, I'm going to debrief this. I did an iron butterfly at 5,400 that printed money. I think it was about $3,000 in a single trade. I had a dogfight because I started with an iron condor, and as the S&P 500 imploded, this bull put spread, man, I did all sorts of strategy, made an iron butterfly and made $3,000. Turned a potential losing iron condor into an annual membership. If you were here, you would have gotten that. So options weapon school. I added a session 7 down there, which is how I do my S&P 500 sniper shots. But take a building block approach. Go through sessions 1 through 6. Learn how to trade synthetic stock, bull put spreads, covered calls. Session 7 is how we're shooting snipers, baby. Real quick, and then obviously you get your manuals. You can download your primary, intermediate, and advanced. I go reread these things sometime to brush up on some stuff. Trade briefs. You were in the primary brief yesterday at 10 a.m. Today we're doing accelerated retirement. And then Mondays, we do our solo Amazon brief. I moved it to Thursday because we're doing full throttle. But this is what a week usually looks like here at Top Gun Options, okay? Now, for a bunch of folks who joined, go to your app store or your Android store, whatever it's called. The app, the Top Gun Options app, is called Go Collab. And we can rebrand it to Top Gun Options app, but my techies haven't gotten around to that. But it's called Go Collab, okay? When you got your receipt from joining, it should have given you all these instructions, but I'll just repeat them. It's called Go Collab. Just download that app. And once you download that, you got everything on your phone, right? I just took a screenshot 5 minutes ago of the Max Afterburner group. This is the Lifetime group. And you can get everything on here. You can go watch all the briefs. You can watch the Options Weapon School Session 6. You can talk to me. You can talk to your fellow members. You can't join Lifetime today. You can join Hunters today. That's what you'll get access to. Okay. So, but that's kind of a screenshot of what the app looks like. Okay. That's where you get, once you download the app, you'll start getting trade alerts on your phone instantaneously. You get your trade alerts. Okay. And then finally, I love how this only took about 7 minutes. Case studies. You can go look at all the reviews that we have online. That's up to you. Investment to get airborne. We already talked about this with a couple trades this week. I have paid for multiple years of an annual membership. Nobody else does this, folks. If you had done the trades as I laid them out, you would have paid for your annual membership already. There's nobody else who does this. This is the time in the week when I say, if you haven't joined by yet, what's wrong with you? Like, what else do I have to prove? Would you have rather I give you 127 PowerPoint slides each day that shows you screenshots of trades that I did like 5 years ago, like a lot of people do, or that I opened the doors and showed you live? Which one do you prefer? If you want to kick the tires with our investment club, it's $497 a month. But if you do the annual today, that's essentially a 50% discount. That's why people end up in the annual. But there are some people like, dude, I want access to your investment club and everything. Okay, try it for months. It's $497. Email us in a couple months and say, hey, I want to upgrade into the annual. Perfect. The $295, there's your trial. Well, this is your trial. 4 free days of trading is your trial. We don't do any other trials. $295. You do not get access to the Hunters. Period. You're not paying for it. Any other questions? Any concerns? Smart remarks, comments, by the ways? Gary, you had me doing sniper trades. Good. Awesome. They should have been, Barry. I don't know. You'd know better than me. I asked them to be, and hopefully they are. All right, let's go ahead and get airborne. We got a lot to cover today. Let's rip. Donald Trump has the ability to get Democrats to do some crazy shit, man. It's funny. He gets them. There's like senators that are like, I am flying to El Salvador next week to get. This guy's a fucking El Salvadoran citizen. 2 judges in this country, he was illegally in this country, said, get out. He defied both those orders. He's broken multiple laws. I don't care if he's, quote, an alleged terrorist or MS-13 member. Ladies and gentlemen, did you see Democrats frothing at the mouth? They didn't even stand at the joint session of Congress for Laken Riley's mom and sister. These fucking people are nuts. They didn't care about all the Americans who were raped and murdered by illegal immigrants. They're frothing at the mouth about this fucking criminal. Due process. Sit up straight while I give you a little lecture about some due process. I'm old enough to remember Barack Hussein Obama killed 4 American citizens in drone strikes. Somebody show me in your Constitution where it says the President of the United fucking States can be the grand jury jury, judge, and executioner of an American. He murdered 4 Americans without you want to talk about a constitutional crisis? So all these Democrats that are frothing at the mouth about an El Salvadoran citizen praised Obama for killing Americans. It's so funny. I was posting this online. People are like, oh my God, I forgot about that. I didn't. I'm fucking smart, folks. I got a long memory. I remember this happening and going, I mean, they were warriors and terrorists, but holy shit, man, the president gets, I don't know, that's a little creepy. Nowadays, now I'm freaking out about it. In hindsight, I'm like, oh my God, these people that are freaking out about due process are sitting here going, oh, there was no due process. The guy went to court multiple times. He was ordered to leave, and now they're freaking out about it. I love this, though. I love this. Democrats are trying to grab some sort of shiny red ball to show they're still relevant. Please do this. Please do this. Please, Spartacus, Senator Booker. Please, the senator from Maryland who didn't give a shit about the girl that was murdered in the state of Maryland by an immigrant. Please fly to El Salvador. Please show the Americans that you care about illegal immigrants and bringing them back into this country than Americans. I love it. I love it. So Joe Biden flew over 500,000 illegal immigrants in. Why? Because we didn't want them walking through the desert and stuff like that. Joe Biden put illegals on airplanes and distributed them around the U.S. Donald Trump said, well, I'm going to take those 500,000 and throw them out. A liberal judge appointed by Obama who looks like she smells like cat pee said, no, you can't. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We didn't have a say when he flew them into this country and let them all go, but the next guy wants to throw them all out and he can't. I'm ranting about this, folks, because it's politics and politics drives the markets. These people are nuts. I can't stand it. This guy killed Americans with no due process. Personally, I was like, well, they were 4 terrorists and they took up arms against the U.S. and then we should schwack them. Until a buddy of mine's like, dude, think about that. Do you remember like the Supreme Court ruling on immunity? All the Democrats were like, oh my God, the Supreme Court essentially said that Trump could SEAL Team 6 and kill people. Yeah, he wouldn't do that, but Obama did. And you praised him. I remember that shithead from Oregon, Ron Wyden, wrote a big defense of Obama killing these Americans. I'm like, oh my God, you can kill Americans without a trial. And then 10 years later, Donald Trump can order SEAL Team 6 to kill Americans. Well, we already had a president do that. If I were a young Republican attorney general, you know how they all went after Trump, these Letitia James, who's going to be indicted for mortgage fraud, I would indict Barack Obama for murder. There's no statute of limitations for murder, folks. If I was a Republican attorney general, I would arrest and indict Barack Hussein Obama. You want to talk about a constitutional crisis? All right, rant complete. Here we go. I don't like this. The gang who can't shoot straight. Even the Wall Street Journal criticized this guy, man. I'm not liking what's going on with this. Steve Witkoff over the weekend. Well, I think it'll be okay for Iran to have some uranium. And then yesterday, the State Department, the White House, him, woo. What I meant to say was Iran's not going to have any uranium and get rid of every nuke. Not good. I'm already dealing with one clown car with Navarro and Lutnick with Bessent trying to clean up that mess. And now I'm dealing with this mess of a clown car with nukes. This is a big deal, folks. I'm telling you, this is why we're going to finish our Tredge right now, is because this is going to get bad. If you're new to Top Gun Options, everything from Ukraine, all of this stuff, I end that portion of the brief with this. This is going to get worse. Before Ukraine was ever invaded by Russia, and Joe Biden said, well, if Putin does invade, it'll be a minor incursion. You idiot. What? Anyway, this isn't good, and we need to be tredged or hedged because something bad is about to happen. So the futures rebounded earlier. S&P 500 futures just surged. 100 points on China being open to talks with President Trump. I think I saw a quote that said, "We are extending a handshake, not a fist." They're a kraken. I told you that China does not have the ammo to fight this thing much longer. Okay. The plunge protection team is having to jump in and save their markets. You can't short sell stocks. You can only buy. They're in trouble. Okay. So I'm rambling about this because this type of thing is going to cause the market to rip eventually for good, not for good, but to get out of this cycle right here that we're in. Okay. Does everybody understand that? I mean, Friday afternoon, that happened. I'm going to do a 90-day pause. 90-day pause. Nobody does 90-day pauses better than me, believe me. Boom. So the president and China can talk this market higher and out of this mess. Okay. So as I talked about yesterday, there is a put underneath this market. The Treasury Secretary said as much. He's like, I'm not even close to extraordinary measures or things that I can do. I got a lot of tools in my toolbox. He can go around Jerome Powell, folks. Jerome Powell, one of the most political Fed chiefs in our nation's history. I'm going to cut 50 basis points right in front of the election as interest or inflation's going up. What? It should be a 50-point hike. I hate Donald Trump. Oh, okay. So, and did you see the messaging? They're already talking about, well, his term's up in I have lunch with, this was Bessent. Bessent's like, oh, I have lunch with the Fed chief once a week. He's a great American, good guy. By the way, his term's up in about 12 months, and we're interviewing. They already threw the interview word out there. We're interviewing Fed chiefs. Does anybody think that Donald Trump's going to pick another? He picked Jerome Powell the first time, folks. He also picked Amy Coney Barrett, and she's turning out to be a train wreck. So I think the Fed chief that they pick is going to be pretty bullish. Okay. U.S. plans to use tariff negotiations to isolate China. Okay. So, yeah, exactly, Barry. Every time you said it's going to get worse, it got worse. Sadly, that's the truth. So, Donald Trump, again, love him or hate him, you had to read The Art of the Deal, said what? You open with a broadside. You open with something so outlandish that it just knocks the other side off their heels. Then you throttle back a little bit. He did that. I'm going to tariff everybody in the world. I'm shooting at everybody. Everybody's getting slayed. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Dust flying around and cats and dogs and anarchy. Wait a minute. You know what? Just China. You and I, let's do lunch. Yeah, you know what? Treasury Secretary, start talking to these people. Close these deals. Putting China out here. Did you see what happened the other day? Xi Jinping got an airplane, a Boeing 747, and flew to Vietnam with all the red flags in the background, shaking hands like, oh, shit. They just were talking to Trump about getting a trade deal, and China's getting isolated, folks, and their markets can't take this anymore. This is warfare, folks. This is a Cold War. We've been at war with China for a long time, folks, but this is Trump. You know, he's in it, man. Tech stocks fall after U.S. tightens curbs on NVIDIA's China exports. Okay. Again, whiplash with this stuff. I love whiplash because it's our S&P 500 sniper shots. A lot of investors can't stand the whiplash. We had a rip your face off rally because tech stocks are going to be exempt, like NVIDIA. NVIDIA ripped, and now NVIDIA is getting destroyed right now. Okay. But he's doing it because we're at war with China in a tech war. Okay. We talked about this yesterday. Buy the financials. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America. They are printing, not minting. The Federal Reserve mints money. Investors print, and banks. I print money. You're printing money in your S&P 500 bear call spread from yesterday. 70 cents. I got $1.30. What's that? 950. It's $1,000 essentially. You're up $1,000 in a day on that bear call spread. As the market went down, for all the new folks who were like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm allowed to make money as markets go down. Welcome aboard, baby. Big banks show consumers remained resilient heading into tariff turmoil. So unlike Spartacus and the Democrats frothing at the mouth that the economy is horrible, the economy's been horrible for a while. It didn't get worse. Okay. This really hasn't hit consumers yet. It might yet. Okay. And then we laughed yesterday about all this stuff right here. You can't short stocks in China. You can only post bullish articles. And the Chinese, it's called the national team. We call it the PPT. The plunge protection team is trying to boost equities in China. We looked at the FXI yesterday. But the Treasury Secretary says, if the Fed ain't going to do it, I can do it. Technically, the Federal Reserve, it's an independent quasi-government agency, should be disbanded. That's a separate conversation we can talk about. But the Treasury Secretary technically, the Fed reports-ish to the Treasury. Okay, now let's get tactical and let's do a little drawing here. What did I tell you yesterday? We did this live. Implosion, dead cat bounce, implosion, dead cat bounce, super implosion, super dead cat bounce, fail. If you're new, I'm pretty magical with this stuff. I said it kissed the 20-day moving average. If it doesn't go through and fails a little bit, which it did as the day went on yesterday, it's bearish, pounded into the dirt. And oh, looky here. I was right. Okay. So from a technical point of view, this ain't good for the S&P 500. That's a fail. Now we're skidding along 53.25 right here. The S&P, if you didn't join yet and watch your sniper training, moves in 25 increments, folks. Oops, get rid of that stray drawing. Let me bring down the range here. You will get educated on all of this in your session 7 sniper training. That's worth the price of admission, baby. You want to learn how to sniper shoot? This guy will teach you how to do it. See, look, we gapped down to a 25, 53.50. Where did we implode to? 53.25, Wiz, and that's the Mason-Dixon line right now. The next move is either going to be back up to 53.50 or down to 5,300. Okay? And I'm going to watch it right here because we're going to take a sniper because that happened as the day went on. Look at that. 5,400 yesterday. I had an iron butterfly on. That was a smoke them if you got them moment here. Okay. Now, if you miss this trade, you can, or if you, let's talk through it this way. If you're in this trade, you could roll it down. That's a tactic called rolling. If you got filled at $1.30, $1.40, whatever we looked at yesterday, $1.25, you can take profits on the table and roll it down a couple strikes, right? So, or you can close it right now. Just close it, take your $1,000 in a day, and we're going to start from scratch. It's up to you. But if you close it right now, it was $1.30 yesterday. You could throw in an order right now at 70 and get like $9.50 for it. Okay. So, I'm going to start from scratch and I'm going to cruise because technically by day 3, you should have already joined and started watching your training. Let me grab a fresh piece of paper. And actually, I'm not going to grab a fresh piece of paper. I want to see how the at the money straddle from yesterday has changed. So let's go. And I'm going to go quicker. You should have watched the replay from yesterday. If you didn't, that's your fault. Let's go look at the May 25, the regular May expiration at the money straddle. So I'm going to do a new Tredge from scratch. Take your $1,000 from yesterday or whatever it is and be happy and put it into this trade. Here we go. What's the at the money straddle? We're close to 53.30. Let's go to 53.30. I click straddle. You sell it. And we're going to go out to that expiration, May 25, which is what date? May 16th. If that confuses you, choke yourself because I already told you this yesterday. That's $327, which is $650 wide. Watch. Let's look at the Elizabeth Warren TP. Zoom in. So the options market is saying 56. Let's round down to a 50. 56.50 to the top. And the bottom is 5,000. Ooh, I like that. 5K. Let's go to work. Here we go. Let's go just draw that on the chart real quick. Let me see. 5650. We'll do the bottom first. That's easy. Look at where we bottomed out, man. 5,000 was some turbulence down there. So that's 5,000. All these ads suck on this website. I hate it, but the E-Trade chart sucked this far out. 5650 is right there. So right now, folks, the options market, not Wiz, is saying that it's going to stay in between these two strikes by the third Friday in May. Okay. Now, somebody asked earlier, and I said I'd kind of cover this today. I'm not. I'm going to stick with the Tredge because I think we got a leg down. Other people, I forget, maybe Barry, it was you, had a great point. Like, you know what, Wiz? I don't know if we're going to do another leg down. I do an iron condor here. Yeah, that's what makes a market. I wouldn't. I think we have another leg down. The other leg down, folks, is based on what? Iran. We're going to know between now and the third Friday in May what Trump's doing with Iran. It ain't going to be this. We're going to meet next Saturday in Oman for the 19th time. And I think it's really been positive. Trump's going to snap. I guarantee you. Or he's not. It's a binary trade. We're not going to do this for a month. Do you understand? Now, I pray to God, and I do pray to God often, that I lose money on this trade. You ready for this? I pray to God in the next 30 days that Trump goes, the mullah's coming to Mar-a-Lago. We're going to play golf and peace on earth, no nukes. The odds of that happening are 0.01 infinity. But the odds of getting eaten by a golden retriever are never zero. Could that happen? Yes. Will it? No. So I'm rambling about, I don't think you're going to get blown out to the top. If you do the iron condor, I think there's a possibility, a higher possibility of getting blown out to the bottom. So I'm not doing the iron condor out to May. I'm doing a tactic that we covered yesterday. The intro was it's called a Tredge. It's a trade that I'm pretty damn sure is going to make money. I don't place a trade if it's going to lose money, and a hedge that will protect my longs. Again, I got some JP Morgans and some Amazons that are treading water right now, but who gives a shit? I mean, let's look at, what's this one? This is the primary portfolio, folks. So look, my long-term bullish positions are essentially flat for the year. What am I doing now? These are all going to rise again, like the South, right? JP Morgan, Amazon, Raytheon are going to rip. I got a volatility trade I got to look at. But folks, these are okay. They're years out into the future. It's okay if they're flat or getting a little red right now. What am I doing? The best time to fix the roof is when it's sunny out. This is sunny out in the S&P 500 land, folks. I've made 45 grand in this portfolio, not all of it year to date. That's just in the primary portfolio, okay? So enough. That I just rambled through all of my commit criteria. Now we go to work and do the trade. So I looked at it on the chart, and now I'm going to go look at the strikes. So it's literally 30 days out right now. The top was 56.50. Let's go on the website and look like I'm looking at my birth date. I got to scroll like the Price is Right wheel, 56.50. So, and who was it? Scott or whoever just said this tactic, it's a Tredge, but the formal name of it is going to be, or is, a bearish double vertical. And you're going to see the picture of why it's called a bearish double vertical. Okay. So if I sold, and I'll just do one for now. If I sold the 56.50 call, that's putting the roof all the way up there, and I bought the 56.55, it's $1.15. That's right, or as the S&P is recovering a little bit, $1.25 would be perfect. Let me go a little bit more aggressive. I'm just going to go $25 in, down to the 25. I like this one better. I'm going to sell a May 25, 56.25 call, buy the 56.30. This is just like the trade we did yesterday. I'm risking 365 to make 135. Okay? Like I said yesterday, you could just do this trade. Wiz, I don't know if we're going to super implode or move sideways. I don't feel we're going to rip by a month. You could just do the bear call spread. But here's what I'm going to do. This trade, ladies and gentlemen, is called a credit spread for a reason. I'm getting paid 135 bucks. What I'm going to do with that 135 bucks is use it to go fund a bearish trade that makes, so I put the roof on up here and that brought in money. Now I'm going to take that money and buy a bearish trade that makes money if or when the S&P 500 goes down. Okay, so kind of keep the image of this chart in the background here for the trade that I'm going to do next. To add to this, I'm going to add what is called a bear put spread. Okay, let me just play with some stuff here and then I'm going to start talking through it. The bottom was 5,000 with that at the money strata, wasn't it? And again, if I'm moving super quick, you're going to watch all your options weapon school training. You're going to hit pause. You're going to take notes. You're going to go, okay, And then in the live trade briefs, I cook. Does everybody understand that? Bearish double vertical training is an hour-long lecture, and it's going to take me 10 minutes to do it live. You got to put in the work. Let's just start with buying the 5,000 put. That would be an implosion, baby. But didn't think we'd be talking about this anyway. Let me buy the 5,000 put. And then I go 25 wide. You're going to get that in the lecture why. I'm not going to tell you right now because I'm cruising. 5,000. So it would be look at that scroll, man. 5,000. A little bit more. 5,000. There it is. The 49.75. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this just turned into, look down here, a debit spread. I'm coming out of pocket to do this, right? This is turning into a debit spread. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at the picture real quick. Ladies, and I'll zoom out. This is why it's called a bearish double vertical. Well, it's called a bearish double vertical because you have two vertical spreads on top of each other that are bearish. But look at the picture. There's the bear call spread that we covered first to fund this bear put spread. This makes money if we have that violent move down, a violent move down. Okay. Now, all the smart people just looked at what first? Wiz, I'm new here, but you trained me. Never look at smiley face first. Look at angry face. 790. If you do one contract today with this trade, it's 790 bucks. Ladies and gentlemen, on your screen is your monthly portfolio insurance. I just paid my USAA bill and it wasn't that cheap, trust me, for the next 30 days. Folks, for $790 today, you can sleep for the next month. That if, God forbid, something bad happens, it will protect your portfolio to the tune of 2,200 bucks. Isn't that awesome? Okay. So I'll take a screenshot with the single contract, and then I'm going to show you what I would do for a $100,000 model portfolio that is only deploying about 25 to 50 grand right now. I am never fully in equities, baby. Absolutely not. I sit on a ton of cash. My cash is a little lower now. Why? Because I've been scaling in. I've been sitting on cash to do for this type of stuff. So it's okay at this time if you are coming out of your cash pile to make great purchases like we did yesterday or whenever on Amazon. SPX 416 metric. Okay. Now let me play with some strikes. Let's go 15 and 15 for the bear call spread, which makes it actually, look at that. You get paid. If sit here and watch me do this, you can do, this is going to be called a ratio spread. I'm going to have 15 up here and 3 down here or something like that. But look at this right now, just throwing 15 contracts up there. It's a credit. Wait, hold on, Wiz. I can get paid 1,600 bucks for the next month to insure my portfolio. Yeah, baby. Welcome aboard Top Gun Options. Okay. Let's go see what the risk is in that. You're risking 5,900 to make 4 grand. Okay. I'm going to come down on those a little. Let me do 10 up here, and let's do like 3 down here. And there's no science to this, folks. I'm playing with pricing. All right, this is spending $185. Let's go look at the metrics. I'm risking five. Ooh, this is better than the last one, wasn't it? I was risking 58 to make like 48. This one, you're risking less. You're risking 5 to make 75. Wow. So here's what I'm doing. I'm playing with it. Let me go 12 or 13 and 4. Why, Wiz? I don't know. I'm just playing with shit. I'm going to get paid $70 for this one. And let's just take a look here. Ooh, you're risking 64 to make 10 grand. This is why, if you've ever seen some of my, free videos, my sit reps I do on like, hey, just made 15 grand on a double vertical. These are the type of trades that do this. But warning, Will Robinson, you need a violent move in the direction of your double vertical, right? If Xi and Trump meet at Mar-a-Lago with the mullah and they're all having a nice steak dinner, you're going to get blown out of this trade. Okay. So requirement number 1 is your solid commit criteria that you think, remember what, let's go back to my commit criteria. Why not you, I am putting this trade on. The dude told him, get rid of the nukes or I'll get rid of them for you. But Witkoff said they could have some uranium. He just got pounded into the dirt yesterday. He got called in the skipper's office and was told, dude, what are you doing? Shut up. Not an ounce of uranium are they allowed to keep. Oh, sorry. Maybe that's part of the negotiations. I don't know. And a potential another leg down where China says, you know what? It's a kamikaze mission. Okay. Mike, you got it. Let's talk. So this one, let me go back, look at the metrics. This would be a little north of my SOP for this model portfolio to risk. I'm going to do it because my commit criteria is that strong. I'm okay with this model portfolio doing this trade. And I'm spending $55 to do it. Okay. Now, real quick, you can leg into that trade. This is what that means. Instead of, did you see that order ticket? It had 4 legs on it. You can submit it like I just did just now. Or you can do the bear call spread first and then the bear put spread. Or you could do the bear. It doesn't matter the order of them. People always get wrapped around the axle. I'm like, who gives a shit? That's why I put them on one order ticket. Okay. I know there's questions flying around. I appreciate my current members answering new people's questions. That is how we do it here. But let me show you the power of this fully operational Death Star here. New May 25 SPX Tredge at everyone. This covers potential Iran nuke strike and trade wars worsening. All right, then I'll go grab the screenshots of this. Oops, sorry, I wasn't sharing my screen here. I grabbed the images. With my sniper shots, I usually just copy the text from the ticket because they're timely. But with these trades, I can take my time a little bit and type some stuff and good. Okay, there's the images. This trade covers that. I'm going to copy it and fire that in the trade alerts thread. Good catch, Wiz. Boom. Posted. 1 potato, 2 potato. Boom. Go collab notification on my phone. So you can be sitting in death by meeting, folks, and you're going to, hey, Wiz just placed a bearish double vertical. And at least for me, if I were me, I have my E-Trade platform on my phone. I can go, oh, that's the trade Wiz is doing, and that's the trade I'm going to do. Boom. Trade alerts. New May. Remember, folks, May 25 SPX Tredge is what? May 16th. If you don't understand that, you're not paying attention. Sit up straight and pay attention. Because we got to cruise. Because I got to go on time because I got a doctor's appointment, baby. Trade alerts publish. And then Rochelle and Steve are new members. You guys, welcome aboard. Slots are going, guys. Don't try and be the last full throttle person. Okay. Before I move on to the next topic, let me get up here. I'll show you the trade again. Well, TJ, you're a member. You can go look on the web or your app. There's the guys. Take a screenshot of this. Now as you're taking screenshots, listen to me. If you get a violent move in the direction of this trade, close it. I don't have time to go back, but my current members know the SOP for closing these trades. All the free people, you got to join. I'm done giving too much shit away here for free. I run a charity. I'm not a charity. So I have my current members know how to manage this trade to the T. They know when to exit or if to exit the credit spread, and they know exactly when to exit and why the debit spread, which is the bear put spread. If you don't know, tough. Join. I'm done answering free questions. There is the link to join. You want me to answer your questions going forward? There you go, because I get a cruise. Boom. All right. We gotta move on here. That is the one I did. Oh, the one I did is right here. Sorry. Let me hit cancel real quick because it won't let me show the strikes, and then I'll copy it. Everybody take a screenshot. There's the trade I would do for the model portfolio, 13 and 4. Okay, take a screenshot. Somebody tell everybody else where you do the screenshot thing. I've never been in here to take screenshots. Scott, I don't have time for the Iron Butterfly. We got to cruise. I am limited for time. I should have done this Tredge, finished it yesterday, but I didn't. We have got to talk about our next topic here because we are in AR, folks, accelerated retirement. In the accelerated retirement portfolio, we look at what are the biggest things on the horizon that we can potentially get filthy rich on. What is the next hottest thing? The next, quote, hottest thing is the only thing that potentially is going to save and change not only this country, but the world. Psychedelic assisted therapy. Period. If you don't know my story, I'm not going to say choke yourself because that would be not nice. You need to go watch, the videos. You need to listen to my first debrief about sitting with the medicine with Marcus Luttrell. And actually, you know what? That's what you need to listen to right there. Man, I felt God. I felt my sister, my father, my lost brothers that I served with right here. This is a must watch. This is my commit criteria for what we're going to talk about. You should, not shall, should, I don't care what you do, buy the publicly traded psychedelic stocks with both hands. Period. Big Pharma, the alcohol and tobacco folks, do not want any of this. I stopped going to DC. I stopped going to DC, ladies and gentlemen, because it's gross. There was a congressman who shall remain nameless behind closed doors. Hey, Wiz, I love what you're doing. No fallen heroes and saving our vets. I'm like, great, Congressman. You're gonna have a problem with the alcohol and tobacco folks. And big pharma, Wiz. I looked at that guy and said, isn't that your fucking job? I mean, I'm going to have a problem with them. Anyway, let me show you from Lancet, the British medicine, place and publication. This is the harm to users and harm to others. Alcohol is the most harmful thing to you and others on this planet. You know what's the most not? Psilocybin mushrooms. Alcohol, 100% legal. Psilocybin mushrooms, a felony. Why? There's no money in healing. Pharma has customers, and they need those customers for the rest of their life. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to dig too deep because I want to tell you all the stocks and everything to look at. I was a drunk. I had decades of trauma from child sexual abuse, a sister being killed by a drunk driver, military trauma from 16 brothers dying. I watched some of them. Going to Wall Street and figuring out how gross some people can be. I was a mess. I was circling the drain. I'm glad we closed that SPX bull put spread or bear call spread, aren't you? My 4-year anniversary is coming up in a month. I sat with a medicine called Ibogaine, and it saved and changed my life, along with the 4 other incredible Americans, from Marcus Luttrell to Jared Taylor, who founded Black Rifle Coffee. Folks, I'm not going to waste time. I'm going to tell you this. It's not coming. It's here. This is here. Let me give you the, this is worth its weight in admission. Psychedelic Q520. This bullseye, baby, you're welcome. This bullseye shows you the closer you get to the bullseye, the closer it is to being approved. Hell, the VA is not the VA, the DOD, the Department of Defense, is doing a study with veterans now. You forget us, active duty troops, and MDMA therapy. I'm begging for donations to try and do healing retreats. And, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so I sat with 5-MeO-DMT. Listen to my Max Afterburner podcast, episode 7. I was a 52-year-old adult male who flipped in a bed. I did a front flip. I don't remember it. I was told that happened. And I know that it happened because when I went into the medicine, I was looking at the Pacific Ocean. It was beautiful. When I got out of the medicine, I was looking at the wall behind me. I sat with Ibogaine, and I sat with psilocybin. I also sat with ketamine just so I could speak to it. And it's a lifesaver. It is a Band-Aid on a sucking chest wound. But ladies and gentlemen, when you click on this wheel, you can blow it up. There are publicly traded companies that are racing to the bullseye. I'm going to tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the internet 1999. What do you mean by that, Wiz? There's a Google in there, and there's an Amazon. There's also a pets.com and a Netscape. You pick the wrong 2, you're broke. You pick the right 2, you're going to be a billionaire. Okay, so I'm going to ripple through, for the sake of time, these psychedelic names and infrastructure that I would buy with both hands. Full disclosure, I'm an investor in Healing Realty Trust. We are a REIT that is printing money right now. Why? Because, folks, when you do these medicines, when they are legal for therapeutic use, I'm not talking recreational, man. You ain't doing them at your doctor. I'm not going to my doctor's at noon today. I'm here for an MDMA therapy. All right, go in treatment room 1 on the wax paper on the examining room table, and we'll give you some MDMA for 6 hours. It's going to have to be a big, beautiful room with couches and a bed and a separate bathroom and video cameras, and the infrastructure for these medicines does not exist. Me and partners came up with this idea years ago, like, we need to start building this shit out. So anyway, let's talk about that first, the infrastructure underneath the healthcare revolution. I'm going to tell you real quick. Please follow me on Instagram, because I post cool shit about this, but let me give you the reel you have to watch. Bobby Kennedy, love him or hate him. It's funny how, you're a Democrat for all your life. So Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Bobby Kennedy, and what's her name? The DNI lady. They're all Democrats. When they became Republicans, they're hated. Literally hatred for these people. But where is it? My Bobby Kennedy reel. This is one of the most heartfelt. This is your, not yours. This is my commit criteria for psychedelics. This guy, let me give you the cliff notes. This guy asks Bobby Kennedy Tulsi Gabbard, when he was running as a Democrat for president, he said, the guy said, what do you think about psychedelics? And Bobby Kennedy said, I'm a recovering heroin addict and an alcoholic. It sounded like people just trading one bad thing for another. I could not have been more against it. And then my bride took her life. My wife killed herself, and one of my boys was done. He was next. I knew there was no way he was going to get over it. One of his friends took him to Peru. And when I saw him when he got home, I immediately knew I had my son back. So I could not be more of an advocate for psychedelic therapy for therapeutic use. Now, it's so funny because people are like, oh, I took mushrooms once at a concert and it sucked. Duh. It's almost like the medicine's telling you, it's called set and setting. What's your mindset going to use this medicine, and where are you? Don't give me any of your bullshit, oh, these things sucked. You did them wrong. Ibogaine, ladies and gentlemen, was a 12 to 14 hour. I've done some challenging things in my life. Landing a Hornet in the middle of the Pacific, thousands of miles from any piece of land, low on fuel at night in bad weather, was a walk in the park compared to my Ibogaine experience. It was the most challenging thing I've ever done. It was the most healing I've ever done in my life and reconnected me with God. That ain't you're not taking Ibogaine and going out to a club in Vegas. You're taking Ibogaine and you're not going anywhere for a weekend. These are not recreational. So ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you that the definition of a Schedule I drug is no therapeutic use and a high risk of addiction. I just defined a cigarette and I just defined alcohol. The Ibogaine that I did is anti-addictive. I couldn't drink coffee. Alcohol was destroyed. There are guys who are, and gals or whatever, who are porn addicts, heroin addicts. Any sort of addiction is destroyed by Ibogaine. We had a Navy SEAL who had horrific head trauma, black, gray, and white. 3 months after the Ibogaine, his gray matter, it was all white. His head trauma was healed. Enough. I'm not going to keep rambling about it. The infrastructure stocks, AHR, American Healthcare REIT, they are doing exactly what our REIT is doing. And guess what? They went public last February, and the stock went up 128% in a year. American Healthcare Realty is doing what I am doing in Healing Realty Trust. We are scheduled, or we're talking about going public in a year or two. There's, as of last count, I think 25 Top Gun Options members in here. That's the other reason, shameless plug, to join Top Gun Options. You get opportunities to invest in things. Dr. Deborah Mash is the queen of Ibogaine, and she has a company called Demerex. Demerex is focusing on alcohol use disorder. TGO members, I just reviewed her slide deck a couple days ago. She's going to come and give a demonstration or an investor brief. They are looking for investors for another round. They already have some institutional, and Dr. Mash and I, go listen to she's the queen of Ibogaine. Right here. Listen to this podcast with Dr. Mash and I tell the anecdotal story of, hey, this is what Ibogaine did for me. In this podcast, she steps through everything that I experienced from the medical point of view. Okay. So AHR, ladies and gentlemen, the other reason I like AHR is this. Oops, sorry. Where's the quote? Trading. Well, it has a 3% dividend It's like a savings account right now, folks. So you can buy a stock that's exploding and also you get a little bit of coin. I'm going to stick with the infrastructure and move over to Sabra. A lot of you, it's the same type of thing. Sabra Healthcare REIT. If you don't know what a REIT is, it's a real estate investment trust. Look at this name. It moves up and to the right. Since I said to get into it, it's up 36%. Check this out. It has a 6.7% dividend. If you're a dividend liker, buy 1,000 shares of Sabra today and get a nice dividend. And sell covered calls against your position. That is session 3 of Options Weapons School. If you don't know what a covered call is, I will train you in your Options Weapons School. Now, I'm going to rip through these names, sit up straight, and write them all down. The names in this space that I would buy with both hands right now. Cybin. Cybin is up 50% in 3 or a week. Now, it's down from its highs, obviously, but I don't care. That is awesome. From 490 to 8. Buy Cybin with both hands. MindMed, MNMD. They have a medicine called MM120 that's finishing phase 2 trials. When, not if, it approves phase 3, it is going to help. I'm going to use the word cure. It will cure 40 million Americans suffering from GAD, generalized anxiety disorder. This was a single dose. Now, let me go on my rant real quick when I use the term single dose. You ready for this? There is no way on God's green earth that the CEO of Moderna, Pfizer, Eli Lilly, Johnson & Johnson is sitting in their headquarters right now, reading the Wall Street Journal, smoking their cigar that they lit with a $1,000 bill, going, oh, these psychedelic companies are cute. They just cured generalized anxiety disorder with a single dose. Whereas, oh my God, we hooked these people for life. I guarantee, listen to me, write down the date and time I said this. I don't want, and let me lead with this. I don't want this to happen. As Wiz, I do not want what I'm about to tell you to happen. I pray to God it doesn't happen. Now I'm going to shut that guy up and turn into Gordon Gekko or Jordan Belfort. These psychedelic companies will be scooped up by the big pharma companies. Guaranteed. And they will either put them on the shelf, oh, those things are cute, or they're going to patent it, trademark it, and charge $1 million for it. Count on it. There is no middle, folks. They're not going to let some little company like MindMed cure people. Isn't that gross? So I'm torn. Trust me, I'm torn. As an investor, I want all that to happen. As Wiz, I don't. But let me clean this up. As Wiz, I can promise you that healing is free. God, whatever word you want to use, I use the word God, put these substances on this planet for us to heal for free. Iboga, which ibogaine it comes from, is a root bark from Gabon, Africa, Central West Africa. Psilocybin, I got it in my yard. 5-MeO-DMT, bufo frog, Arizona, New Mexico, northern Mexico. San Pedro, mescaline, out in the desert. All of these things are here and they are free. LSD, lysergic acid. It comes from ergot, grain. So, MindMed, back, rant complete. A tie working on ibogaine. It's $1.40, folks. Buy it. Put it in your filing cabinet, folks. And then Compass. Now, if you don't want to pick winners and losers, you can trade options on these, but again, I'm tight on time. I do not trade options on stocks under $10. I buy the stock. That's the option. Duh. If it's a $3 stock, I mean, the options can be really, really cheap. I just don't do it. I buy the shares. That's just a wizism. I don't trade options on stocks under $10. I buy the stock. You got it, David. Okay. Now, Wiz, I don't want to pick winners and losers, then don't. Then you buy the psychedelic ETF. The exchange traded fund is called SIL, short for psilocybin. SIL. Let's go look. If you don't want to pick winners and losers, let's look at what is in the Advisor Shares psychedelic ETF. Oh, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. We got some Mind Med, some Cybin, you got some Atai, you got some Compass. So the 4 names that I told you to buy with both hands, you get in an ETF. And you get some other ones that I've heard of, I'm just not super familiar with. I've heard of Bright Minds and Sage Therapeutics. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't try and pick winners. Pick a basket of them. Okay? So, that is the sector. Everybody's looking for the next hottest thing or the next hottest sector. Buy it with both hands. I'm honest with you, folks. These are lottery tickets. I bought a bunch of them in 2022. I went down to the Benzinga Psychedelic Capital Psychedelic Conference. Couldn't be more bullish. And then in 2022, the media forgets to remind you that the S&P 500 went down over 20%, 25%. I'm sorry. Everybody remember that? So we had a bear market under Joe Biden, but when stocks went down 15% last week, it was the end of the world. Donald Trump's going to kill us all. 2022, ladies and gentlemen, by October of 2022, the S&P 500 was down 25%. Deep bear market territory. I'm ranting about that because a lot of these psychedelic, people were freaked about all sorts of investing, and the money dried up a little bit in there. It's back. It's a market cycle, folks. Things happen like that. Okay. Hey, before I forget, since we are making a post office run today, people are like, dude, I want to buy some of this cool merch that you got. You can. You got our psychedelic fighter pilot shirt. You got these hats, and we also have these hats in black, and we also have this is the OG. That's the original No Fallen Heroes. Buckley from SEAL Team, the TV show SEAL Team. He's not my brother, even though he's from County Cork, Ireland. I'm from County Cork, Ireland. His name's Buckley, and it's an island. I think we probably are related, but anyway, AJ Buckley on SEAL Team wore our foundation hat. He's on our advisory board. So if you want this one, just order the hat. It doesn't matter which one, and just shoot me an email until we're having a nice picture taken to put this thing up on the website. And before I forget, microdosing. So ladies and gentlemen, you've probably seen this, right? Moms or executives. Let me find the Wall Street Journal articles. There's just so many. I have them all saved under my foundation thing. Psychedelics for parenting, the rise of microdosing is a way to see your kids better, or at least see through their eyes a little bit, right? Let me just pull up No Phone here. Down here at the bottom, I have so many. Where's the mom one? Anyway, there's been a ton of Wall Street Journal articles lately about microdosing and everything like that. I mean, I clearly have a lot of things saved here. There's Demorex. Anyway, I mean, look at all these articles on psychedelics. Clearly, it was in the Wall Street Journal that said, hey man, moms or it was about female executives. It was like, it's the new glass of wine, right, for female executives. Wall Street Journal. Let me see if I can find it. It's just funny. There it is. The working woman's newest life hack, magic mushrooms. It's a Wall Street Journal, folks, for a select group of moms in high-powered jobs. So what does the term microdose mean? It means subperceptual, meaning you shouldn't feel anything. If you feel a microdose, it wasn't a microdose, right? It's a subperceptual dose. I know that I'm microdosing if I'm unfortunately, sadly, on I-95 in Florida at 3 in the afternoon, and I don't want to get out of my car with a high-powered rifle. I'm like, I'm actually okay right now. Old Wiz, not okay. So we actually have a line, excuse me, of microdosing products. I take this is called Morning Brief. Folks, these are 100% legal. They do not have psilocybin in them. Guess what? When Uncle Sam in the Vietnam War said, hey, go to the other side of the world and kill the yellow man. I don't want to do that. I love the yellow man. How do you love somebody you've never met before? I took these mushrooms. Okay, great. They're a felony now. Here's your rifle. Go kill people. They didn't take the time to look at all sorts of mushrooms, and I'll leave it at that. I don't want to be too whatever, because knowing Uncle Sam, they're going to go, oh, yeah, well, all these are now done too. You don't need psilocybin mushrooms to get the benefits of psilocybin mushrooms, and I'll leave it at that. So I take a morning brief every morning, 5 days on. I take the weekends off, and then we have Night Trap, this nootropic blend that I take an hour before I go to bed. The dreams are incredible. Same thing, 5 days on, 2 days off. So I wanted to cover that real quick because I am making a post office run here in a little bit. The donations go over the fence to fund healing retreats. You got it, Mitch. I love the morning brief. So, all right, let me scroll up. I have a question on your member offers $295 a month, allow most service except sniper. No, Donna, I do the sniper shots if you do the $295 a month. Absolutely, because you get the options weapon school training and you get access to the Tuesday, Wednesday brief. So Donna, yeah, $295. It doesn't get you the hunters. It doesn't get you the investment club for the $295. So, but yeah, you get the sniper training. What's a lot? She said that's a lot. $295 is not a lot. if that's what you're talking about, I need to be actually raised. I haven't raised prices in like 10 years, and I'm an idiot. The microdosing is a lot. Oh my God, no. Morning brief. First of all, that includes shipping and handling. They were $59.99, and instead of trying to figure out everybody's zip code and how much it's going to cost, they said add $10, which was wrong to do because I got people from England, Australia, and around the world ordering shit, and the shipping ends up being $20, so we're actually losing money. It's not a lot, and it's 90 capsules, Donna. So trust me, it's not a lot. And how much? What's the price? Oh, the 5 times a week. Oh, it isn't. Remember, folks, first of all, there's lion's mane in here, reishi, cordyceps. So there are healthy mushrooms in this. You need these things anyway. So no. Folks, I take a multivitamin 7 days a week. So got it. Understood. All right, guys, let me answer some more questions because I want to. Well, Jim, it technically is for 90 days, but I don't do 90 days. I take the weekends off. Because God's a smart pharmacologist. The more you do these things, the less they work, right? Drugs get you hooked. These things are all natural, so they actually work less if you take them all the time. So you got to stagger them. Every once in a while, I'll take a week off, and then I'll start my microdosing again. But folks, Google microdosing. It's in the Wall Street. Like I said, I mean, I got articles out the yin yang on this. The psychedelic revolution is here, folks. Okay. I love it. And it's funny. Oh, look at this one. Meet the Trump nominees selling vitamins on the side. All the Trump folks are starting to get into, oh my God, psychedelics. And everybody's coming around, folks. We were here first. Trust me. I've been doing this for 4 years. But microdose, if you're interested in microdosing, the donations go over to the No Fallen Heroes Foundation to fund our healing retreats. And we're not doing that good right now with donations to the foundation. So I wanted to throw that out there. And somebody yesterday sent me an email about the merch. So this is the Maverick Mind logo. And then this is that's the No Foundations logo. Just order the hat online and say, hey, shoot me an email. Wiz, I actually want the camo hat. I don't know if you can tell that's camo. But if you watch SEAL Team, each SEAL Team season, AJ Buckley got to pick a hat. That was his hat for the season. Last season, it was ours. And then that's the camo, the dark camo Maverick Mind one. And we have sun shirts and hoodies and all sorts of stuff too. All right, let me get some other questions here. And that's another annual membership right there. Okay. There you go. I appreciate that, Scott. Don, I started with solo Amazon last July and soon joined Full Throttle. That's awesome. That's right. And Scott joined Lifetime. We can talk about becoming a Lifetime member in a little bit. But folks, I mean, look at that bearish double vertical I covered. If that hits, that one trade that I covered is $10,000. That's essentially half your Lifetime membership. So any other, yeah, I'll give you the link. Here's the replay page. The replay for today will be posted on here shortly, obviously, after we're done. Let me refresh this page real quick. The day one replay is right there. You just click this little button. I can make these actual videos, though. I think we need to stack the videos because people get confused. Like, where's the other day's replay? Right underneath it. Exactly, Scott. Scott joined our Healing Realty Trust, which was a fantastic. We're already cash flow positive, making money, and we'll be going public soon. Here's the link for Full Throttle, folks. We're getting, this is the last Full Throttle brief of the week. Tomorrow's solo Amazon. So I'm getting ready to close the doors on Full Throttle, folks. Jason, it does. We talk a ton about microdosing on our podcast. Okay. So do me a favor, everybody right now, 812 subscribers. That's ridiculously crappy. Everybody in this brief, I'm going to give you this link. Please go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We talk about microdosing. We talk about healing veterans. There's a hockey player brother of mine who healed his head trauma with psychedelics. We have female Navy fighter pilots talking about their healing with psychedelics, sexual trauma. And then also, if you're stuck in traffic type of thing, or you're going to the gym, this is the podcast. It's the Max Afterburner podcast. So go subscribe to the Max Afterburner podcast and you can start listening to them. The videos are on the YouTube channel. The listen tos are on here. I strongly, if this interests you at all, ladies and gentlemen, episode 7 is my first medicine debrief. I listen to this every once in a while and I fall on my knees and cry. This is one of the most, this is it. This is the debrief. If you're interested in anything, start right here. That is my first medicine debrief. What's that? October of 2021. That's the one to start. Yeah, James Fadiman and Gruber. That's a great microdosing book. You're right, Lisa. That is a great microdosing book. There are a lot of resources out there, folks, on microdosing, but check out ours, and they're awesome. I mean, I got mine over there. Do this today if you're interested, because I can't stand. You want to know how I test my microdosing? I go to drop all these packages off at the Boca Raton post office. And again, I don't want to use a high-powered rifle. I'm centered. Old Whiz, oh my God, the Boca Raton Costco and the Boca Raton post office will test anybody. That's how you stress test your microdose. So I don't want to go to the post office more times than I need to. Jim, just click on it right there. Here's the link to buy the morning brief. Folks, I get up, I brush my teeth, wash my face, I take my morning brief and I go do my 20-minute morning meditation. Then I go to hot yoga, and then I come back and trade, and I am centered for the day. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I do my afternoon 20-minute morning meditation, and I am okay. So Ray Dalio right here. I give this guy a little bit of grief for his sometimes bad calls. Billionaire Ray Dalio credits I'm a billionaire, world's largest hedge fund manager. Why? I do 40 minutes of meditation. Okay, man. Ray copies the Whiz Fighter. 20 minutes, gratitude in the morning, 20 minutes before the market closes, and I microdose. 20 minutes at a time. Isn't that awesome? So there you go. If you watch the Showtime episode Billions or series Billions, they had a meditation room, right? And Axe and Wags went and did ayahuasca up in Canada. But do me a favor, if you're interested in microdosing, please go buy these now. So by this afternoon, I can go, okay, like 20 people ordered. I'm going to, because it's just Susie and I for now. When this really starts exploding, we'll hire people to package and box everything like that. Right now, it's us kind of sending that out. Just joined Hunters Monthly, ready to get started. Mike, welcome aboard, my brother. You're going to have a blast. Go Collab app. Mike, go download the Go Collab, and I'll see you in the Hunters in a little bit. We got some snipers to shoot. We could have shot in a bull put spread, but I'm on a rant here. Rob, hey Wiz, why don't you have the post office pick? You know what's funny, Rob, is when Susie went the other day, because I'd rather get my teeth drilled. She's like, the lady's like, why don't you do the drop thing where we pick it up? So thank you for that. We did get a little bit of a help from the post officer, like we can come to you type of thing. So I think we might do that. I haven't figured that out yet. So, but thank you for the heads up. Okay. Don, no discounts for microdosing products. Why would we discount our microdosing products? No. Folks, first of all, if you go look at other microdosing products, these are right in line with them. And second of all, I know of no microdosing products out there that are tied to a nonprofit. So no discounts on the microdosing products. We need to fund retreats, man. We've paused scheduling our retreats because we're on fumes in the foundation. It sucks. Susie and I can't power this thing by ourselves. And, with Donald Trump and tariff wars and trade wars in the market imploding, the high net worth folks are sitting on their hands when they should really put the ladder down. So no, we don't, no discounts on the microdosing products. Nope, absolutely. These do not show up on drug tests. One more time, folks. These do not have psilocybin in them. None. If or when psilocybin is legal federally, we could come out with a line of microdosing products that have psilocybin in them. These are 100% legal. Okay. Thank you for asking that. I'll say it again. There is nothing illegal in these, man. No tropic extract, cordylis, magnesium glycinate, passion flower. I can't say most of these. Our PhD does all this stuff, but the ones I can say, Asian ginseng, cordyceps, lion's mane, long jack, rhyhota, whatever. Zero psilocybin, no drug test, no nothing. Try them. Try. You're helping the foundation, and those things sucked. Or you could read some of the people that wrote things already saying really nice things about these. So, awesome, Perry. I appreciate that. All right, guys. I didn't mean to end too long on that. Let me see. Go off all the trading questions here, if there has been. Everybody good with the bearish double vertical? Martin, I love the night trap. I love that. Love the night trap. Very smooth. Good dream. Good. Isn't that weird? So I'll be honest, folks. When I was a FedEx guy, hated it. Melatonin gave me horrific nightmares. I can't stand melatonin. Night trap, very nice dreams. Knock on wood. I haven't had one quote bad dream on the night trap. They have been very good. That's awesome, Martin. You know what? Can I download this chat? I want to take some of these as, no offense, testimonials, case studies. All right, guys, any questions? Sorry, went long here. So here's the deal. Join. And if you have questions, I'll answer them. For all the free folks, I'm kind of done answering questions. Tomorrow is Solo Amazon. Okay, Solo Amazon, we're going to, I'm going to show you the only stock you need to own. Okay, so that is the way to go if you just want to keep kicking the tires. It's a Monday morning brief at 10 a.m. It's $97 a month. When I used to drink, I'd say it was a horrible bottle of wine. If you drink, there you go. It's a bottle of wine for a month, or just do the annual. And $9.70 a month. Remember, for all the Full Throttle folks, you don't have solo Amazon. That's its own thing here. So, Jeff, a night trap, call it night duty, was when I landed aboard the boat. When you land on the aircraft carrier, it's called a trap. That's why I think they changed the name on them. I don't have any near me. It says night duty because I think one of the ladies on our team was like, night trap doesn't sound. I'm like, it's when we land aboard the boat. Morning brief is when we brief in the morning, and a night trap is when we landed on the boat. She's like, can we call it night duty? I'm like, okay, duty. On the bottles, I think it says night duty. So that's what it was. You know, we're kind of doing the Black Rifle Coffee. We're going to name our stuff, you know, military, AK-47, or, you know, front towards the enemy. So, okay. A couple more questions here. Let me scroll up. Sandeep, Wiz, just concerned about double bear vertical. Why? Well, Sandeep, let me be clear. If you're concerned about it, don't do it. If you're concerned about it, get out of it. If you are in a trade and concerned, do something. I don't know what you're concerned about. I gave you a full brief on what could potentially happen. Peace on earth. It will lose money. Trade war over with. It will lose money. I called it a Tredge and a hedge, right? I briefed you on all this. If you don't understand, I can't help you any more than that. I can't help your concerns. That's why we do a brief. I briefed everything. What could be good? What could be bad? No, I don't think he is, Bob, because I don't think he's a current member. I don't recognize that name. My April 23 is underwater too. But this is why we have, let me close on this, folks. You can have dueling double verticals, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to me. So, Sandeep, if you're worried or concerned is your word about a rip your face off rally, do a bullish double vertical. Ladies and gentlemen, current Top Gun Options members, over here and over here, we had dueling trades on, meaning what? Like in this chop, we had double verticals that one would be red and the other would be green. Close the green one. And then 1 or 2 days later, the other one printed money. Close that one. I call that dog fighting the S&P 500. I was going to say maybe tomorrow I can dig really deep into that, but I'm not. We're doing solo Amazon tomorrow. So for folks who are concerned about a double vertical, put the opposite one on. Folks, if you had been had dueling double verticals on, so to speak, you would have printed money in here. So for current members, I'll do. And I'll place the trade and throw it in the member area. I'm not doing it right now, and I'm not doing it tomorrow. If you join, I'll give you a bullish double vertical out to May. So for the next 30 days, you have 2 trades on. One that's going to print money up and one that's going to print money down. And I guarantee you in the next 30 days, you're going to see this. You're going to see more of what you're seeing. I only covered one of them. So I love that you're concerned about that because I'm ending on a high note. At Top Gun Options, we dogfight the S&P 500. It's okay to have dueling trades on, folks. Wiz, I don't know where we're going to be in 30 days in the market, but I do know we're going to see more of this crap. Up 1,000, down 1,000. Breaking news, Trump said this. Breaking news, Xi said that. Put 2 of them on. It's called dogfighting the S&P 500, and nobody does it better than us. But let me be clear. If you're, quote, concerned about a trade, do something about it. Okay? All right, guys, I got to go. I went way too long. I'm going to be late for my doctor's appointment. The replay is going to be delayed a little bit. I got life to live. I don't sit here all day and trade. I'd rather get my teeth drilled. Join. We're done with Full Throttle. We're going to be closing the doors. There's the solo Amazon link. I already posted it. Here is the Full Throttle. The annual membership's the way to go. When we opened the brief this morning, what did I tell you to do? Close that bear call spread from yesterday for $1,000, and I would have put a bullish sniper on for today, but I got to go to the doctors. So I've more than paid for your membership so far in Full Throttle this week, and then we're going to talk about Amazon tomorrow. All right, guys, I got to go. Have a great rest of your day. Fights on, namaste, and basi basi. Wiz out. Go order your Maverick Mine now, your merch or the microdoses, so I can do a post office run or figure out how they can come to me. All right, guys. See you tomorrow. Fights on and all that good stuff. We'll see you.